true, because I think, so often we depend on man. God has to take people out of your life in order for you to realize, look, I'm the man, not the man that I gave birth to or I created. I'm the man. I'm the original main man. You said something about family, because that's what I've done too. I come from a big family, but I'm more closer to my spiritual family instead of my DNA family. People who I thought were negative and who are negative in my family, DNA family, I removed them from my life. So I've met so many wonderful women and men who are mentors, friends, and sisters and brothers. When I say I created my tribe, I ain't playing. I created my
Yes.
own tribe.
Yes.
And my tribe is my family, Miss Wilburn. I have so many great supporters. I just put something on there and they're there. You know what I'm saying? If they don't watch it
Mhm.
now, they do the after show or just checking up on me. You know what I'm saying? So I've
Right.
created that. We have to let people understand it's okay to step away, because I'm not going to take mistreatment from someone who's I'm not related to. But who's
Right.
to say because you're related to me and you know my business, I'm
That's it.
supposed to. I'm
That's
supposed to.
it.
Look, I
That's
was
it.
raised that way, because the person closest to you, DNA, is the one that's going to hurt you.
Mhm.
I don't have
Yep.
time for that. So what I decided to do, I was raised by primarily men, and I was raised to love myself and all that kind of stuff, where some people call it cocky. It's confident. Look, I want to be my best friend, okay? Because I know
Yeah.
I'm good.
Oh, that's right.
I'm crack-a-lacking, okay? So I know I'm good. So my thing is, when I hear people say treat others the way you want to be treated, no, I don't subscribe to that. Because if you don't know what love is, I don't want you to treat me how you treat yourself if you don't know what love is. Because if you hate yourself, you're not going to treat me with love. So I believe in telling you how I want you to treat me. Let's have this discussion so then there's no misunderstandings. But what would you tell your 14-year-old self? What would you tell her today?
Well, it was 15,
15.
and what mm, I would probably go back and and tell her that if I knew what I knew now, then I would let her know that one day you are going to use this to change the lives of many young people who are in the same predicament that you're in. It's not fair, but God had to choose somebody to go through it so that he could use them to help them. And when I think about that, I look at Moses and Noah and Job. I've been all of them. So um, at 16, when I was kidnapped and raped, it was like I had already started to like withdraw from my normal routine. So using school as an escape, I started dropping out of extracurricular activities and things like that. But nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. Like something is wrong. And when that happened to me, the little girl in me just died. It was like I literally flatlined. And it was something that I was so ashamed about because I was taught that those things are my fault. I was taught that at 11 when it happened to me the first time. That's what I was told. So that's what I began to believe. But I would go back and tell her that the devil is a lie. God has had his hand on you this entire time, and as long as you stay, with him, and as long as you keep going and you use this as a tool to help you instead of letting it break you, you're going to be just fine. And you're going to do some amazing things and you're going to change the lives of many people. That's what I would say.
Isn't it amazing that, and I'm sure it has happened to you because it happened to me. Like when I'm telling people what I've gone through, they're like, but you don't look like it. I don't have to wear my battle scars. Come on, you know it's true. You don't have to see my scars because my
Yes,
scars are invisible scars. You know what I'm saying? But right
yes,
now it has healed because my girlfriend and I have this thing that we say, this is what healed looks like. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It's almost like when people are fasting, they look like they're fasting. You're not supposed
Mhm.
to look that way, you know?
Right,
And that's why it's so important for me to build this tribe up, to show women no matter what you go through, we still love you. No matter what
mhm,
you come out of, because we're not judging who you were. I'm not here
right.
to judge you. The person in front of me, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I'm like, And I wanted to ask you this, like sometimes when I was young and I was going through stuff, I'm like, damn, God. And then people will tell you, well, God don't give you too much that you can handle. Look, let me tell you, I cannot tell you this. I cannot even say it on. I cannot tell you what I used to tell him because I'm not trying to get shut down. Okay, because I'm like, look, I don't need no more bricks. I don't need nothing to carry. I don't care what you say. My shoulders are broke. I don't want to do this no more. You know what I'm saying? So
Right,
you
right.
put it on somebody else. I know you think I'm strong. I know I'm strong, but give me a break for a minute. So when you had the brain aneurysm, like what were the symptoms? What happened? How did that come about?
Well, in April of last year, 2019, I uh really before that, I started experiencing a lot of headaches. Before that, I was diagnosed with hypertension anyway. I had high blood
Mhm.
pressure after I had my last child. All my pregnancies were like high risk. I started to noticed that my headaches were, frequent, and my blood pressure was high like all the time. And I was, with all the things that I do, I was just go 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 all the time. Sometimes I would sleep maybe 2 to 3 hours a day.
That's
It
it.
sometimes I would stay up 2 days, almost 48 hours, and not sleep. I have to help this person. This person needs me. And I was just stretching myself way too thin. And so I ended up in the hospital. I woke up one day, the grand opening of my building, me and my partner's building, the day of the grand opening, it was in April, like towards the end of April. I was not able to go because when I woke up, I started crying. Like my head was hurting so bad, I could not stand. And so I was thinking to myself, I'm having a stroke. They thought I was having a stroke. When they called the ambulance, the doctors all said they thought I had an aneurysm then. And when they did the scan, they didn't see anything. So, I ended up staying in the hospital for a day and they sent me home and told me I needed to rest for about 4 days, don't do anything. Between then and August 22nd, the brain aneurysm formed in my head, but I didn't know it. And so I continued to, just drink vinegar. I was on blood pressure meds. I had stopped taking my meds because every time they switched them, it caused so many problems. It made my hair fall out, all kinds of stuff. I was like, listen, y'all need to find something that works because this ain't it. So I was wrapping up a radio show, engineering a show at the building, and at 7:30 p.m. And then literally about 5 minutes afterwards, I had my younger two kids with me and another young lady. She's like an adoptive little sister. And they were making their way to the front of the building when my car was parked right in the building, right in front of the door. Now, I was putting my laptop in the bag. I had been having this excruciating headache all day. And I was stood up, I put the laptop in the bag, and then it felt like somebody hit me in the head with like a sledgehammer. And I collapsed into the chair.
Wow.
And I started to close my eyes, and something said, don't go to sleep, Jacque, get up, get up, get up. And so I didn't have any strength. Like, I was like, oh my God, I was like, something is not right. And so I couldn't even describe it. I was in so much pain. I was in tears, and I started like trying to holler. It was sounding like a hard whisper. But in my head, I'm thinking I'm hollering. I'm yelling for my kids to come back and telling them, please go next door and grab some vinegar, to do. I think my blood pressure is like over the top. They ran out with her, go next door. I started to put my head back down on the table, and some said, nope, get up, trying to make it to the car. And so I stumbled to the car, and the back seat door was open. And I made it halfway in. Half my body was in, half my body was out. And then my right side started to go numb. They came back. I tried to, take some vinegar. That didn't really work. And I was just told her, she called 911. And yeah, when I was in the room, I think my boyfriend at the time, he was on the road and they called him. He was in the room. I think my godmother was in the room. And I could hear, I couldn't really see. So I had my eyes closed. I was, crying. And I heard the doctor come in and say, Miss Merle, I'm sorry, but you just suffered a ruptured brain aneurysm. At that moment, like my heart dropped and I knew it was the end. I was like, I know I'm getting ready to die. I couldn't speak. So I wanted to say, I want to see my kids one last time. And I couldn't. I couldn't say it. And I was hoping that somebody would know that that's what I would want. And so I accepted at that moment that I was going to pass. And I could, I heard them talking, and he was telling them, if we do nothing, this is, very severe, and a lot of people die within the first 48 hours. Even after post surgery, some people die within the first 7 to 10 days, or a lot of people die within the first 7 to 10 days. Many people don't survive these. So he was just saying, if we do nothing, she'll pass. And what we can do is brain surgery, do a coiling of the aneurysm, and that's not a guarantee, but at least that's what we'll try. So Mark, he agreed that do whatever you can, and yeah, that's what happened. That was every day. I dream about that. I think about that moment every every single day. And today is actually a year from the day that I was readmitted because I relapsed. 30 days after I was released, I relapsed and had to go back. That was the most heart-wrenching thing, knowing that I was not going to be able to say goodbye to my children, and knowing that they had, to sign paperwork saying what my funeral wishes were, and he became my power of attorney, made my decisions and things of that sort. So yeah.
This is why one of the things that I talk about on my platform is self-care. This is why it's so important that we sleep, we get at least 8 hours sleep. And I don't care what's going on in our lives. Because at the end of the day, because I have a friend, and everything's centered around her children. Everything's centered around her children. And when I tell her to do certain things, or advise her, she feels guilty about it. And I'm like, okay, so I had to have a hard talk with her. So I said, okay, so what happens when you're dead and you're gone? Your husband eventually gonna remarry. Trust and believe he's gonna remarry. Okay. And it's not being disrespectful, because she's not feeling well, her head hurts, this is going on. And I said, your body's giving you messages that you need to slow down. You need to, take naps if you need to take naps. And sometimes, she's always cleaning. And I'm like, look, sometimes you need to just say, I'll do that tomorrow, and just spend the day in bed. Just take time for yourself, whether it's meditation, whether it's exercise, eating healthy, just having positive conversations. Because, girl, trust and believe, I'm not trying to watch television now. Okay. I can't remember the last time, because right now everything is negative on television. I'm very sensitive when it comes to certain things. So I can't hear all that. This is going on. This is going on. I need to hear positivity. So if I am watching the Netflix and stuff, it has to be something positive. I can't watch gory stuff. I don't want to watch death. I sure enough, I'm programming my phone now, because don't give me the stuff that's going on in the world today. You know what I'm saying? That's enough. Miss Wilburn said, self-preservation it is, because when the plane goes down, you got to put the oxygen mask over yourself. And as mothers and wives and a woman, we're caregivers, but you're not doing yourself any justice, but not taking care of yourself. You take care of yourself, and then you can take care of others. So now, with that said, what are you doing for self-care?
Well, of course, I'm limited to what I can do anyway, so I don't really have a choice. God saw to that. The brain aneurysm is still there in my head. It's just coiled off right now. So resting is something that I have to do. If I have to eat, if I don't eat, then that causes a trigger and causes the head pain to be there, and the blood pressure to go up. So I really don't have a choice. God brought it to my attention that I had gotten so busy, because we can be busy and not be productive. I had gotten so busy that I had stepped away from what it was he called me to do to begin with. I stopped speaking. I stopped my sessions with the young people and things of that sort, and I started doing more behind the scenes, like with a business and things of that sort, helping entrepreneurs, and because that's something that I love to do as well. And I was just like, this is too much for me. So many young people wanted to one-on-one to themselves, and I love young people. I love loving on them. I love it, but I was like, there's no way I can serve all these people, at one time. And so I got away from what it was he called me to do. And then I stopped talking to him as much. And then I stopped. So while I was laying in the hospital bed, he showed me, like, I come first, and this is what I told you to do.
He's a
This is
jealous
what
God.
you want to do. Yes, he is.
God.
Yes, he is. This is what I want you to do, and this is how I want you to do it. And this is the way you can do this. But this right here is important. This is what I've called you to do. And so I had to say, okay, God. So now, because of my disobedience, now I have a constant reminder that now I don't have a choice but to move like he said, or it's going to cost me my life, literally. You
Mhm.
know, so resting is definitely something. Eating, I have to eat. Eating is something I wasn't doing too. You know, being able to spend more time with my children and being more strategic about how I move in business. And here's the thing, these are all things that I knew better anyway. I knew better and I did it anyway. I teach this, you know. So I knew better and I did it anyway. And you get to a point where, you know, I had to get out of the mindset that if I don't do it and it's not done this way, then it's not going to be done right. I
Oh
had
my
I had to
God.
get out of that. And
Mm.
it was so hard because I have lived my entire life serving other people because I love to serve, whether that be in business, whether that be in, you know, helping people, you know, overcome trauma, whether that be whatever the case may be. And I did that because I wanted so badly for to save people from feeling the things that I felt and from reaching the depths of, you know,
Right,
the
right,
pit that I was in so that they wouldn't have to do that. So that maybe one less young person would, you know, commit suicide, or one less mother over here would, you know, turn to drugs and alcohol and leave her kids, or a man, you know what I'm saying? So one less business or
right.
entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying, wouldn't be struggling with trying to figure out how they should move and what they need to start their business. But I got so wrapped up in that, and my mindset was even if I can experience all of that, I want other people to be able to experience it. I want to be for them what I didn't have. And
Well,
so I
but
had to realize that, you know, I'm intervening in
in
some of those
on the
situations.
behalf. But let me tell
Yes,
you what you
yes.
were doing also. I call that survivor's remorse. That's what you were doing. It was survivor's remorse. You survived, so you wanted to help other people. So I label that survivor's remorse. At the end of the day, what I've learned, where not necessarily, oh, I got to help everybody. But what I finally learned was in corporate America, I said it a lot. But then when I started getting my entrepreneurial skills, I started, just saying yes. Girl, let me tell you, two letters. No.
No.
Man, I love it. And I don't feel guilty because at work, when I'm working in corporate America, I will say no in a minute, no problem. Nope, it's after hours. I'm not doing it. But sometimes when you work from home, you work more hours
Mhm.
than when you're in the office. So
Yep.
I've learned the word, okay, let me see what I'm going to do. Okay, Jackie, I have two people. They want to come on Saturday or Sunday. Saturday and Sunday, it has to be very special for you to do this. And they're like, well, Jackie, we can only do it those 2 days. No, you're not going to rush me. I'm not changing my
Mhm.
schedule because I need time for myself because I'm a type A personality. And type A personalities have to be very careful because we can go from 0 to 90. Okay, there's no
Yeah.
in between. So
Yeah.
okay, calm down. Again, type A, I'm hyper and all that kind of stuff. I've learned to create boundaries. Now, mind you, sometimes I cross other people's boundaries, but I created my own boundaries. I created my own boundaries to say, no, I'm not doing this. And no. And once I give that look, they know it's like that mama look back in the day, big mama look. I get that look so they know.